All right, well, this one is for you, Capricorn. That's you over here. This is Tarot Lumination with your general report for November 2017. You've done this before, you know the drill. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Squish it all together, reinterpret, and tell your own story, okay? We're just talking general energy here. It's not a love relationship reading or anything. We're not fortune tellers. We're just talking about energy, okay? No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals, okay? The cards tell a good story just as they are, and we're going to allow that to happen. And we're just going to jump right in and forget the preambles, okay? And by the way, there's a little button at the top here. It's to do with the Tarot Lumination Silk Scarf Raffle. So if you want to take a break in the video, just click that button. It'll take you to the raffle, okay? All right, so we're well shuffled in advance, and we're going to cut for you in just a moment, Capricorn, and then do your reading. All right, here we go. That's good. Sorry, I bang the cards. I like the deck to be very precise. We're going to clear by a big fat cut like that, and then we're going to go for it. All right. So let's have a look. This is your core, deepest heart energy. Okay. Right at the core of you, not your mind, not your concepts, not your understandings, not your history, the pulsing heart of now. This is legacy energy that you're bringing in with you. You could call that your baggage or your past or stuff from your past lives or whatever it is, or just your moods and feelings or your experiences from the last week or two or a month. This is the ever-present now as you're moving through the month season of this people, you know, we could call it the Scorpio season. So this would be the ever-present now as you go through this period, because you're always in the now. Of course, you know that already, laws of attraction and everything. And as you move through the season, always on the understanding that you can make decisions. And your decisions, by your decisions, you create the outcomes. So this would be the energy of the decisions that you're making as you move through in the present of your conscious awareness of now. So that would be this kind of energy here. Always, you understand, at this point on this journey, we call this a heart spread. I should have shown you the picture in the beginning. I forgot to do that on some of the other reports. But the idea is that you're coming in with this, okay? Carrying that with you, living through the now, but always aware that you're making decisions. And then as soon as you realize that, you're always facing the unknown. And of course, with the unknown, we're talking about potential risk, potential reward. What if it works? What if it doesn't? Making these decisions here creates an outcome. So how do you make those decisions effectively in a way that works most lovingly for you, which is ultimately what's best for everyone? Love you first, you know that. So let's say you're really good at this and you understand this and you make good decisions, then this would be what you would kind of expect, or it wouldn't surprise you to get this energy here. And if you feel like you're being pushed and pummeled or dragged through life, then this energy might feel more like fate, okay? So we'll put that here. And over here, like projecting into your future, this is like, oh my gosh, I hope this works. Oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work out? Oh no. And over here, this is more like, well, things are what they are. So where's this all going? What's the momentum here? What are the prospects with this journey? Can you see that this is a heart? I'm hoping you can see that. This is trying to be in the shape of a heart, and it comes from here, right at the center of your soul, okay? And we're going to move through the energy like this. Over here, we're going to look at the bottom card in a second. That would be the prevailing energy around you. It doesn't own you. You're going to make the best of it. And you have death card. So we're talking about transformation. So Capricorn, well, it's not surprising. I mean, you've been under so much pressure for so many years because of Pluto in Capricorn. So this is not surprising at all. It's just like for Capricorn, it's more of the same. Oh my gosh, when is this ever going to end? When is it ever going to end? For you, Capricorn, it looks like there's kind of quite a lot of activity around you right now, which let's say you might be witnessing transformational things happening around you. You might be feeling that transformation happening inside yourself too. It's almost like, when you look outside the front door and you realize, oh, things are changing and there's no going back. Like there have been some huge hurricanes, huge fires, huge floods recently, huge earthquakes recently. And these are very transformational things that change people's lives forever. And there is no going back. So that's what you might be noticing around you, okay, Capricorn? Now, let's have a look. What's at the core here? Okay, lucky for you, King of Pentacles. This is almost like being who you are. It's almost like it doesn't really matter about all that stuff. Somehow or other, Capricorn, you have figured out that you've already got a lot of the raw ingredients that are necessary in order to get through these deeply transformational times. Now, my personal feeling is I'd like to add a little, let's say, color to the reading here. If you look at this card and think of it, let's associate this with Jupiter and Scorpio right now, on the understanding that you, Capricorn, you get it, you understand, you've done your homework. Jupiter's in Scorpio right now, and you already know from your homework that Scorpionic, Pluto type energy can be very, let's say, harmonious, beneficial with you. In astrology, it would be a sextile, a Capricorn and Scorpio, for example. So you might be sensing that, okay, yeah, things are very transformational, but it's in a good way. It's in a good way because you feel it like in your deepest core of your heart, where it's almost like the dream card for Capricorn, where you might be feeling coming through the November season that, wow, it's about time. It's about time, okay? Where you could, let's say, get the feeling where you have like mastery and ownership of your sovereign self in ways that are very evident to others, okay? Evident to yourself, like, oh, wow, you're the one with the wallet. You're the one with the gifts. You're the one with the talents. And that doesn't come about overnight. It could, with Capricorn, you're very aware of the long journey, the deep, the investments, and all the hard work that goes in to being able to resonate and carry this kind of energy where it is evident, okay? Where, let's say, even if you're not operating at the highest frequencies of Capricorn energy, and you know that, at least you feel that you have that potential in you, because I'm not trying to say this is the Capricorn card or anything, but it's easy to see the relationship with material substance, sovereignty, ownership, stability, excellent management of resources, really knowing what to do with what's around you, including time, people, their gifts, their talents, your gifts, your talents, and putting it all together in a way that really, really works for you, perhaps in ways that are above and beyond anything you've known before. So that's really good news. But it might be happening in a way that is, nevertheless, a little bit, when that transformational energy happens, where there's that cutting away of things that no longer belong to you, it could mean that, let's say you understand what we just talked about here, but it's also having to understand that there's a letting go of an awful lot that is no longer yours. Ideas, thoughts, perceptions, attitudes, ways of being, could be anything, relationships, jobs, homes, leaving a whole life behind and starting a whole new life in some way or another. Let's have a look. What are you bringing in with you? Wow. Okay, Capricorn. So it's almost like, I feel this is less like a wink wink energy, like, well, what did you expect? I'm a Capricorn. I understand like the laws of karma. I get it. I understand how this works. I can see this as a golden opportunity moment. I get it, what you're talking about, Terra Lumination with Jupiter and Scorpio. I watched the video for Capricorn and my Sun and Moon are rising, so I get it. Putting it all together, thank you very, very much. And what it means is almost just like you put this together. It's like taking like the more traditional energy of Capricorn here and mixing that with the firepower of Capricorn, which would be the ambition, the desire to achieve and climb and uh, rise to that level of sovereignty, to the highest peak. You know, Capricorn is the highest sign up in the zodiac, along with Sagittarius way up there, and we're coming into that season right now anyway. So it could mean that secretly you've been working on this for a very long time. Uh, like the ambitious part of yourself, the noble, sovereign part of yourself, where you understand that by being a very, very good leader can bring great rewards. But this is not about ego or vanity. It's about like the substance of like it's really, really satisfying to be very well rewarded for being really good at what you do and how you do it in such a way that's really good for other people too. It's very magnanimous energy. It's very, very generous. It's very inspiring energy here, where it's like if you owned a corporation. Well, it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, younger, older, smart, but if you were, let's say, a business person, you would be like the ultimate boss that everybody would like to work for. You would be the one where everybody's banging on your door saying, "Hey, can I work for you? I want to be in my part of your company. I don't, I'll work for free. I just want to be close to you, Capricorn, work with you because you're so inspiring and you've shown how you can do this yourself, and it inspires us to do the same thing." So that's really cool. That's how I'm feeling this, Capricorn, bringing this into November and then figuring out, well, you know, with all this crown energy here, it's very sovereign, it's very strong. What do you do with that? Because with a lot of strength and power comes a lot of responsibility. And Capricorn, that's your world. You understand that. So let's talk about the man now, moving through the month. What do we have here? Okay, my feeling here is that it's like juggling with a lot of power. A lot of, it's almost like, let's just say, you've been working your way up the ladder of life, one way or another, in your marriage or your boyfriend, girlfriend thing, or your career or your job, your home, your family, your college, your home, your health, whatever. You've got it down. You've got mastery in those fields. And you're realizing it, but it's kind of coming to the point of like maximum ascendance, maximum expression. And it could almost be to the point where, let's say, let's just say you've landed in your dream job, okay? Or you've landed in your dream situation and things are kind of working the way you've wanted and the way you've striven for, and you sense it and you own it in your heart. And it's not like lust for money or anything. It's owning that heart energy as in the form of love is as love does. Capricorn, you probably know better than anyone that love is as love does. In other words, you don't have to write poems to somebody or other. It might be that the most loving thing or gesture you could do for someone else was give them a hand up onto the bus, or, pick up the tab at such and such an event, or it could be helping someone out in need when it took you out of your way. But you understand about building the laws of karma and how you plant the seeds of love for the long term. And you've done this. This has been going on for a long time, and it's now manifesting. The thing is, my feeling is just like, wow, what do I do with all this now? Because it's an awful lot of, let's say, sovereign strength, sovereign power, sovereign identity to have on your lap. And you could end up being in a position of where it's almost like, let's say you got elected or chosen, or you were, let's say, marked out for achievement and you got that, you were acknowledged and it came to you. It's like, well, what do I do with all this now? Whoa, because it's serious, because again, with a lot of power comes great responsibility. So yeah, what are you going to do with all that? Because it has an impact. You understand that the Capricorn energy does have serious, tangible, three-dimensional impact on life in the world around you, not just for yourself, but for others around you, your team, your people, your empire, your world, everybody who counts on you. That's a lot. That's a lot. But it's also on the understanding that you're handling it here, because with the little two of pentacles, it's on the understanding that there's a lot of turbulence going on in the background, which would probably freak out a lot of other people. But you're more than capable of handling it because you're very, very solid Capricorn. However, don't forget, we're going through a lot of big shifts and changes right now. That looks like it's actually really good for you, Capricorn, because you get it, you understand it. So let's have a look. Moving forward, decisions. What are we going to do with all this? Okay. Whoa. Whew. Okay, I feel this is like a real integration of energy here, Capricorn. It's really, really about coming to terms with your own power. Realizing that you do have so much to offer. You do have so many gifts. They might be very, very deeply buried or have been that way for a long time, but they're coming to the surface now in a way that is self-evident to you and the way it's reflected back to you from the world around you and others. And there's no escaping it. There's no denying it. But it does require a whole new shift of attitude where, the traditional Capricorn approach would be very businesslike, hard driving, relentless, day by day, just always onward and upward in a way that works. Not overdoing it, not underdoing it, just doing what has to be done. Okay? And it could have been done in a very, let's say, way that was very, very effective for getting done what has to be done, but it might have been neglecting a little bit of the heart energy, the love energy. And now you've got an opportunity to integrate that where not only can you be the magnanimous leader, the inspiring leader in a way that's very like, say, Aryan type, courageous and bold, but more where there's a lot of compassion built into it as well. In other words, compassionate leadership here, where you start to come into your own power in ways that you would never have actually imagined before, because you might have always had to live through very, let's say, strong, dominant Capricornian leadership type energies, which never allowed you any chance or time to indulge or enjoy the soft, mushy side of your life, or indulge in heartfelt things of home and family, or children, or friends and nieces, nephews, uncles, or things that bring you simple joy in the heart. But now you have that. And by allowing yourself to have that, it's an integration of the masculine side of yourself and the feminine side of yourself. It doesn't matter if you're male or female watching this. We're talking about complete soul merger, soul energy, bringing yourself into alignment with yourself, where it's very, very well balanced. But it means having to make decisions to do that way, which means constantly having to tune into what is the most loving, compassionate, caring way to express my amazing Capricorn gifts and talents in a way that's very responsible, that allows for the compassion, that allows for compassionate leadership, okay? In whatever field, in whatever aspect we're talking about in your life right now, Capricorn. And that could be a big shift, okay, from what you're used to. But it looks like it's very noble. It's very appropriate for you. And it would work very well for you. And you would be highly respected and highly loved for making decisions to behave that way. Because, again, the Queen of Wands would be the sort of energy that people would love to be there with her. She would have no shame or qualm about getting down there in the dirt with, like, say, her people, in a way that she's one of them. In other words, Capricorn, you can take off all the crown and robes, and there you are, roll up your sleeves and say, hey guys, I just wanted to hang out with you, see what it's like. How you guys doing today? Need an extra hand? I had some time off. I got to get back to the office or my palace or my, kingdom or whatever, or home or whatever. But while I'm here, let's hang out together. Are you guys all going on lunch break soon? I'll hang out with you. Cool. And everybody kind of goes, wow, that's so cool. The boss is hanging out with us. He's just one of us. She's just one of us. That's so cool. So making those kind of decisions is probably very good for you. So how are you going to do that effectively so this doesn't all blow up in your face? Okay. My feeling here is that you allow yourself to do wacky stuff, Capricorn, that you've never really dared to do before. With the Seven of Cups here, my feeling is that it's almost like you allow yourself to indulge in these energies, the heartfelt energy over here that's happening in the background behind you that wants to be acknowledged and understood and figured out in the magical, logical Capricorn type way. And so my feeling here is that with you, Capricorn, this is a really amazing chance for you to like kind of go way beyond what you're normally would like to do and really tune into your dreams here. Allow your dreams to filter into your, let's say, nuts and bolts day-to-day reality, which would be all about what's very practical and effective for what works. So that's what's successful for you and successful for others, including being very compassionate, but now taking this even a step further where you really, really now treat yourself to what you really, really deserve. Like you might have been harboring wishes and desires for a long time to be able to just chill out on a beach somewhere with a nice book and your favorite beverage and let the world do what it does. Or you might have always wanted to write a novel. You might have always wanted to, let's say, become a painter or whatever it might be, something almost like completely or wacky or out of this world that you would have normally have like set to the side as frivolous or silly or unconventional or inappropriate for having a very stable, successful environment. And instead, you now allow yourself to enjoy some of the stability that you have and indulge yourself a little bit in it to the point where allowing yourself to do that actually triggers the energy of compassion inside you more and more and more than ever before. In other words, allow yourself to dream a little bit. Allow yourself to maybe even fantasize a little bit like, wow, well, what about all this? Where can we take all this? I've had this daydream about inventing this amazing app that does this amazing thing, or whatever it is, starting a new company or starting a new course or a new whatever it might be, and allowing that to happen and come into your world by tuning into your dreams, tuning into your fantasies and wishes, and starting to bring them down to earth in ways that are very kind of loving. Love yourself, nurture your dreams, and be very compassionate with yourself about that and see what happens. Well, it might be something like this. You see? Oh my gosh, there is so much royalty here, Capricorn. Look at this. It's almost like kind of going off the deep end here. My feeling is that with this Jupiter and Scorpio energy, this is perhaps very, very liberating for you because it allows you to cut away all, let's say, the traditions of Capricorn, all the traditional stuff that you would normally have, like always doing everything by the book, and instead kind of letting yourself go a little bit loopy. In other words, oh, everybody says like, gosh, we love you so much. You're doing such a great job at who you are, Capricorn, and you really deserve a break. And then you say, Capricorn, like, you're right. I think I'm going to become I'm going to go to poetry class. And everyone else is like giggling to themselves. Like he's going to go to a poetry class or he's going to start to do stand-up comedy. Can you imagine that, Capricorn, starting to do stand-up comedy or doing those storytelling events or something? But it's cool because it triggers you to open up to your deep heart energy in ways that you've never be like known before that have existed. But you can see how it actually turns into more resources. That just adds to your credentials. It adds to your treasure chest. It adds to your status and your credibility, and it makes you even more human and more inspiring. In other words, you don't have to be this solid granite piece of rock all the time. You can be someone who's actually a human being with a real goofy side, and people love you even more because of that. In other words, you could be this person who decided to, for the best of yourself, best of others, allow yourself to indulge in a bit of the wacky stuff. So you could be like that wonderful nutty leader who, you could, let's say you're at a dinner party or something, or you got your friends over and everybody knows you as this very solid Capricorn, and then you decide to stand up and tell everybody, you know what, I'm going to start telling you guys a crazy joke. And then the room goes silent and they say, you don't normally joke about these things. You don't normally joke about life, Capricorn. And then you say, Capricorn, well, guess what? You're going to see the new me. And you do that and you tell a wacky, crazy joke and everybody gets it and they're busting their guts out laughing. And you realize, wow, that was awesome. They love me even more and you love them even more by doing something completely absurd. Yay. So okay, so there's a lot at stake here, obviously, Capricorn. So let's say it all works out. Yay! I'm happy for you, Capricorn. Let's say it all works out. You understand what we're talking about here. And you really bring it down. You bring it home. You are truly a human being. You have all that solid Capricorn thing going on, and you're figuring out what to do with it. And you're doing it. You're allowing yourself to be the most wacky, nutty Capricorn that ever existed. And that just makes you even more loving, even more adorable than ever before. Male or female, no matter. It's just like, wow, it's so cool. It's time to have a party. It's time to celebrate with your mates, your buddies, and share that. Okay? So Capricorn, if it's that season for you and you feel you need to throw a party to celebrate your life just because you want to do something goofy and you say, listen, everybody, I have no idea why, but I think it's time to throw an awesome party. Friends and family are all invited. And there's going to be some wacky surprises from Capricorn. And I'm not going to tell you what they are, but it's going to be an awful lot of wacky fun. So come on over, share and enjoy. Whoopee wahoo. And of course, if you don't get all this, then it'll be sad if that doesn't happen. But we're not going to go there. All right. We're going to stay positive. So where does that take you? Wow. Capricorn. It takes you to the point where you realize, oh my gosh, this is really happening? This could really be happening? My gosh. Then you have to come to terms with like your own awesomeness. Like, wow, I really am that awesome. Like, I was just being a regular good old Capricorn, solid, inspiring, great leadership. Now I'm making decisions to do this, whatever they call it, compassionate leadership thing. I learned about it and it's sort of cool, which means, wow, I have to allow myself to do wacky stuff too. That's cool, but it works, and it amplifies itself. It all comes together. Look how married this energy is here. You're becoming married to yourself in ways never happened before, and it's well worth celebrating. So that puts you in a little bit of a quandary, a little bit of a puzzle. Wow, coming into so much strength, into so much power, what am I going to do with it? You can't let yourself run away with that on a massive ego trip. With the strength card here, it's very important to understand that you take all that awesomeness and you surrender to the will of heaven. Okay? You make yourself more than ever before an instrument of spirit. Okay? So I think you can handle that, Capricorn. No problem. You can do that. I don't want to spoil it by saying anything more. You can reinterpret however you want. Okay, Capricorn, watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Don't forget the little button over there if you want to buy a raffle ticket for the silk scarf. And here's the weather conditions. All right? So thank you so much. Please enjoy. Bye-bye, Capricorn.